What's up, YouTube? My name is Tara. Some people call me Mama Sage. If this is your first time checking out my channel, thanks for stopping by and, take a peek, see what's going on, see if there's anything that you can relate to. If you're a returning subscriber, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. Every time that I get a chance to answer one of your questions or talk to you guys about something, life or whatever, it just really puts a big smile on my face. So thank you. So today we're gonna talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, and that is my mugshots. So let's get to it. Okay guys, so this first mugshot that I'm gonna put up on the screen is from the first time that I was ever arrested. It was about 12 years ago, and it was for felony 5, trafficking cocaine to an undercover officer. It was $50 worth, and you guys, if you guys have seen my other video about being arrested for trafficking, this was the situation. So I came out of the club looking like a hot mess and it was not a good day. It was not a good day. I wasn't using that day, but I was deep in my addiction at that time. Pulling up these mugshots, I hadn't seen these in probably close to a decade, because I looked them up one time before, but it's been a really long time, and I had to go and find them again to be able to show them to you guys. And I was just in a really dark place. It just reminds me of how bad things were for me, personally, in my head, in my disease. It was just so bad. So this next mugshot, this is arrest number 2. Arrest number 2, I turned myself in on 2 warrants for solicitation of prostitution to an undercover officer. They were 2 M1s, and I pled down to 1 M3. It was state charge, or it was like city charge versus county charge or something like that. And I pled down to 1 instead of 2. So there's a video about that. Also, if you guys want to check that out. And I talk about both things kind of in both videos, but I try to focus more on each individual arrest, because the way it happened, all the events happened at the same time. But I got arrested on the trafficking, and then I found out, baby daddy found out that I had 2 warrants for my arrest on the solicitation stuff. If you guys can hear the clicking, that's my pup. So yeah, the second mugshot, I turned myself in. I called the police and I was like, hey, I've got warrants. I need you guys to come pick me up. And I just want to turn myself in and get it over with. Let's just go talk to the judge and just be done with it. So the cool thing about this arrest was I already knew it was up, and I knew what to expect. And so I had a white sports bra on, and I made sure that I had white socks and full booty underwear and a white t-shirt, and I was set to go in there. And I knew that, if I was gonna be in there, a day or a couple days, at least I would be a little bit more comfortable than I had been the first time. Because the first time I didn't have any bra, I didn't have any socks, I didn't have any underwear. It was just really bad. And I was really uncomfortable, and I was super cold. So yeah. Okay, so this third mugshot, I haven't really talked to you guys about this much. I think I mentioned it a little bit in my video where I talked about just my overall recovery story, but I can't remember for sure. So the third and final arrest for Mama Sage was, it was after I left baby daddy, and I was trying to take the kids over to see him, and he wanted me to stay at his friend's house, and I was like, there's no way I'm staying over here. It was just uncomfortable. It was just a bad situation. My kids needed to be home. We were living with my parents. He was couch hopping, which is like kind of his usual MO. And so he wanted me to stay and like be intimate with him, and I wasn't feeling him. I'm like, nah, let's not. And so he got all mad and like started, like he wanted me to take him to go and get another 40. So I just let him drive. I was like, whatever. And then he starts getting mad in the car, driving all fast, and the kids are in the back seat. And it was just a few blocks away, but still, it was a dangerous situation. He's being irrational. And so whenever we like got back to his friend's place, I'm trying to leave and I get in the car and he stands at the side of the car. And I sat there in the car trying to get him to get away from the car for like over 2 hours. And I'm like, the kids are tired. They need to go home and get to bed. This isn't about you and I. This is about what's best for them. And so I need you to get away from the car. And finally my mom called and she's like, what is going on? I hadn't even told her and my dad that I was going to see him because he was bad news. And I knew that they didn't want me to go down there and see him because he's bad news. They could see that it was going to turn into something like this. So she's like, well, just tell him to step back away from the car and that you're going to get out to talk to him. Y'all, what is up with my allergies? She's like, tell him to step back and get away from the car and that you're going to get out and talk to him. And then whenever he gets ready to, step back from the car so that you can get out, just like floor the gas. And so I was like, okay, cool. So that was what I did, or I tried to, because I was parallel parked at the curb and he was like hanging over the driver's side window. And there was a car in front and a car behind. So I couldn't just like get out. Like he's standing right there. So I was afraid I was going to run over his foot or something. And that's exactly what happened, because he was standing next to his friend's son. And whenever I got ready to pull away, he like threw his foot under the back tire of the car. And so I ran over his foot. Well, I made him pull his foot out from under my tire because you shouldn't have done that. Like, that was your bad. So I get the kids home. The cops are calling me, And he's calling me back to back to back. And there was another number calling me and I didn't know what it was. And so I didn't answer. And then finally, like, I answer his call. He's like, the police are going to want to talk to you. And I was like, all right, put him on the phone. And so he puts him on the phone. The cop is like, look, so you're either going to come back down here so that we can like talk about everything and sort this out, or I'm just going to put out a warrant. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Go ahead and put out a warrant. I'll just turn myself in tomorrow. So this is like a Sunday. So I actually, because Monday was a holiday, it was a holiday weekend. I think it was actually Memorial Day weekend. I waited until Tuesday. I turned myself in on Tuesday. Or maybe I turned myself in on Monday. This all happened on Sunday. But at least I didn't have to sit in jail. I just know that I didn't have to sit in jail over the weekend. So once again, I made sure that I had my whites. And I made sure that, like everything was set. My dad was taking care of the kids. Mom had to go to work. She dropped me off at the police station in downtown Columbus on her way to work that morning. And I walk in and I'm like, so I have a warrant out for my arrest. And the lady at the desk is like, oh, are you sure? And I said, yeah, the police officer just told me last night that he was going to put out a warrant. And so I'm here to turn myself in just to get everything cleared up. And she's like, okay, well, I have to like look in the system and confirm that there's a warrant for you and stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. So I just hung out in the lobby waiting on the cops to get there. So they ended up booking me, but that's why in this last picture, like I'm smiling like flat out, because I knew that I hadn't done anything wrong and that he was being crazy. So the domestic violence and assault charges for that case were completely dropped. he showed up to court one time and he was just like sitting there like smiling and stuff. And of course my dad's with me because I'm dad's girl, and he's not gonna let anything happen, and he's not gonna, like, baby daddy wasn't gonna try anything crazy with my dad there. And if you guys saw my dad, like, or if any of you who know my dad, like, y'all understand why he wasn't about to try anything. So, you know, everything worked out how it's supposed to, and I'm just really grateful for these experiences, and these pictures like remind me of what my life was like back then. You know, be it the drugs and alcohol, the relationships, like the people, places, and things that I was doing with my life. The bottom line is that things have gotten so much better, and I'm just really grateful that I'm able to share this stuff with you guys. I hope that this gives you some hope. I hope that my story is able to inspire you. If you're in a place where you feel hopeless, like your charges are gonna prevent you from going somewhere in life, just know that that's not the case. It might hold you back a little bit for a few years while you're trying to kind of work through things, but there's an appeal process. So like in Arizona, I have my level 1 fingerprint clearance card, which, you know, shows that I'm fit to work with at-risk population, so the elderly, the disabled, children. And I had to go through the appeal process because they saw my charges and they're like, well, no, like, how about we don't give this girl a fingerprint clearance card? And then I explained my situation, and I talked to a couple of friends in the program, and I asked them, you know, to write a letter of recommendation sharing how my life has changed over the last several years during my sobriety. And they were gracious enough to do that. And it's been amazing, the amount of changes that have happened in my life as a result of my sobriety. So thanks guys for watching. Thanks for getting to 100 subscribers. Let's just keep racking those numbers up, because the more people that follow my page, the more people that share my videos, you know, the more people that I'm going to be able to help. So if you like this video, please click subscribe. Share my videos to your friends, you know, whether it's through a message or on Facebook or whatever, I don't care, but I just want to help people. So I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching. Later.
Yeah.